The Mule is directed by and stars Clint Eastwood as Earl, who is an elderly florist or flower designer who's completely out of pocket now. His business has gone bust due to the way the internet's been going nowadays. However, a chance encounter with a guy at his granddaughter's engagement party leads him to be driving some packages to one place and dropping them off, then getting some money and then driving back. He doesn't really question it at first, however he later finds out that he is actually transporting drugs for the cartel. Realising he's not really doing much harm or anything like that, he's not hurting anyone and no one's getting hurt by the people that he's doing this for, he continues to do so just to get that money in the back pocket and help support his granddaughter. However, the FBI, led by Bradley Cooper and Michael Pena, are hot on the case of the cartel and are desperately trying to bring them down, and both their paths sort of intertwine. And this is the movie. And Clint Eastwood, when it comes to his directing films, he has a few hits and misses. The misses aren't necessarily bad films, they're well acted, well put together. The production design normally is outstanding, but he also has some really great movies as well. One of my favourites being $1 Million Baby. This movie kind of fits in between. It's not really a boring movie like some of his other movies have been, like J. Edgar for example. A great film, don't get me wrong, but it is a very long, boring film. But it's also not as good as his other movies like $1 Million Baby, Gran Torino, or even Unforgiven. This movie fits nicely in the middle of it's good and enjoyable, but I don't know if it's going to be one that I'd really necessarily watch again. Granted, Clint Eastwood in this movie is absolutely fantastic. It's a role I've never really seen him in before. While most of the roles he plays is quite a loner type in the movies. He doesn't really like interacting with people, very grumpy old man sort of thing. In this movie, he's very much a people person. He loves to help people, he loves to talk to people. Sure, he may have a bit of an estranged relationship with his family. He's not been the best parent, which is addressed in the movie as well. A very interesting plot point, which I'll get to in a moment. But he does play against his normal casting type, and so I have to commend him for that. He actually gave a really good performance. He's a very likeable character. You don't want to see anything bad happen to him, and so I have to say Clint Eastwood did a very good job of doing that. And once again, he does prove that he is good when directing a film. He's very good behind the camera. He knows what shots he wants. He does a fantastic job directing this movie. Also, like his other movies, the colour grading is a little bit grey and a bit more dull than compared to other movies you may see, but it again fits the tone for the movies that his movies kind of go for, and so I didn't really have a problem with that. The score for this movie as well I thought was really good, especially the song choices they use when Earl is in his car driving from place to place. It really brings his character a lot more down to earth. He becomes a much more relatable character. He's genuinely just a very lovable guy. You can't help but root for the guy. There's also a lot of really good comedy that genuinely hits really well in this film, which I didn't really expect. Granted, I didn't know nothing about this movie when I first went into going to see it, so I didn't know what I was really getting in for, but the comedy was a nice change of pace. It definitely helped with the more serious moments of the film, helped us take a step back and just relax. And unlike a lot of movies, the comedic moments didn't actually detract from the more serious tones that the film was going for as it gets further down the line. The rest of the cast in this movie all do a really good job as well. There's Michael Pena and Bradley Cooper, who play the FBI agents, who I thought both worked really well together. Granted, their dialogue's very generic for FBI agents. You basically know what they're going to say and how it's said. You've seen it all dozens of times before. But they were good in the movie. They both gave good performances. I would like to see a little bit more fleshing out of Michael Pena's character. We got a lot of Bradley Cooper as it got a bit further down the line, but we didn't see much of Michael Pena. Other than that, both really good in the film. Taissa Farmiga played the granddaughter in this movie as well. I thought she was fantastic. Alison Eastwood plays his daughter, who I also believe is his daughter in real life. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. She was really good in the film. However, the whole family aspect of this movie I wasn't really fully invested in, because the movie doesn't do too much with it. It focuses most of its runtime on the actual drug running, which admittedly is the point of the film. It's called The Mule. It focuses on him doing these drug runs. However, there is a plot point involving his family, that he wasn't always there for them. He was a terrible father, and as it gets towards the end and he starts to realise that he should have really focused more on his family, it just feels like the payoff isn't as satisfying as it could have been if they'd have focused a bit more time on him building that relationship with his family again. Now, the movie also does a really good job of telling us how much time has passed between certain moments, and definitely his drug runs. There is a moment in this movie as well involving his family again, which I won't spoil for you guys. It's towards the end. Something happens and then it cuts away, but it feels like it's only been like a couple of days, and I know for a fact that it doesn't take a couple of days to plan and arrange what actually happens in the film. And so that sort of time frame really took me out of it a little bit, considering he is one of the cartel's biggest drug mules, one of their best drug mules. If this actually happened, I feel like there'd be a lot more focused on him. In reality, I feel like the lead up between what happens before and where he actually ends up would be a good 2 to 3 weeks. It's a little hard to explain without spoiling the film. Hopefully you understand when you actually watch the movie. If you've actually seen the movie, I'm hoping I make sense. But it is one of those that just took me out of the movie just a little bit. And while the majority of the characters do get significant screen time and are genuinely enhancing the plot in some way, there were 2 characters that I thought were completely pointless, or at least 2 actors that I didn't feel could have been used to their full potential, that being Andy Garcia and Laurence Fishburne. They're in this film, but each for about 5-10 minutes, if that. I feel they were very underutilised in this movie. They were both very talented actors, and they were both just kind of there for 5 minutes, if that. Other than that though, guys, I actually really enjoyed this film. I didn't think it was a bad film by any means. I didn't think it was great or anything that you definitely must go out and see. But if you are a fan of Clint Eastwood's other works, then I do recommend checking it out. He does do a good job behind the camera, and it is one of his best performances in my opinion, in the sense that he plays against his usual type. The rest of the cast all do a really good job. I thought the cinematography was great. The score, as I said, was really good. The music choices that they used, again, when he's driving from place to place, I really liked. It did definitely ground his character down to reality, and you definitely related to him. The way he's just relaxing in his car, singing along to these songs like a normal average guy would, you really do relate to that, because that's the sort of stuff that me and my friends do. But like I said, definitely not a bad movie, but not a great film. It's a good movie, an enjoyable time at the cinema, so if you do get time to see it, I recommend that maybe if there's nothing else you want to watch and you are a fan of Clint Eastwood, go and see it. It's not all that bad. And so for all those reasons, I'm going to give The Mule 3 stars. So, The Mule, have you guys seen it yet? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks to those for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all in the next video.